What's good, YouTube? It is your boy, Jogga Joe, ready to go with What the Wrestling, our weekly wrestling podcast where I review Raw and I review SmackDown Live. I put them head to head, give them a grade, and tell you which one was better, in my opinion. So we're gonna get things started real quick. Both shows were pretty action packed this week. I think they were both pretty good and hard hitting shows. I'm one of those types of people. I honestly like to believe that wrestling is good is when you start to nitpick is when it becomes bad. So with that being said, we're just gonna get into it. We're gonna get started with Monday Night Raw. First off, let me just say I'm glad, honestly, that Roman Reigns has not been here for the past 2 weeks. I know his brother passed away. He's not going to be around because of his brother. He wouldn't have been around a lot because of his brother. But it worked out in coincidentally good timing because he not only was able to have this time off and make it look like he's genuinely hurt, but it also continues to make Braun Strowman look like a freaking monster. And we're going to get into Braun Strowman a little bit later, but let's get into the start of Raw. Raw starts off with Chris Jericho. He starts off with the highlight reel. I thought this was really, it was really fun. It was really a good opening segment. He did his thing, and then who would come out but the Miz, who he has this thing where he likes to interrupt people because he thinks that he's the best or whatever. Uh, it is bothersome, but it works for his character, so I'm not too upset. He's out. He talks about how he's the best thing and how he needs to have his podcast or his show or whatever. And so he uh he decides to have the ring crew set up uh the Miz show. I don't know. I don't really know what the Miz is. Not Miz TV. They decided to set up that and have his thing going, and it was pretty good, I guess. And then Dean Ambrose comes out and he interrupts and he said, "No, no, no, we're not gonna do Miz TV. We're gonna do the Ambrose Asylum." And so it was a really it was bulky in the fact that so much happened in such a little bit of time, but it was also really good because not only did it show off just how just how versatile I guess each of them are in their own rights to be able to go from 1 to 100 with different things, but it just worked. It did. I do think that Chris Jericho is being hurt because Kevin Owens is on Raw, but at the same time, I feel like it gives him enough of a talking point to be able to go, "Oh, hey, here's what I have to say. Nobody can interrupt me except for the Miz because he's a jerk." But either way, they get into it. Dean Ambrose goes, "Hey, so I know me and you have had problems in the past," to Chris Jericho. He goes, "We had problems in the past, but I kind of want to reconcile all of that. Here, I got this for you." And he gave him a gift, and I love exactly what Chris Jericho had to say about that. He was like, "Oh, well, the last time somebody got me a gift, it didn't really end well." And I thought that was really great. I thought that was good. It was kind of cute and all of that good stuff. But he gives him the gift, and inside is a light up jacket. And I just want to go on record as to say, if the WWE decides to mass produce those jackets and start selling them on WWE shop.com, I will definitely, definitely, definitely buy one. Point blank period. That is a given. I would buy one. But we're gonna go into it. Chris and Dean Ambrose, they attack The Miz, and The Miz, who, of course, being him, he goes to Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle, who is still the no nonsense, I'm not going to just let you talk, we're going to settle it in the ring type guy. After he went, he interrupted Kurt, I think he was on the phone. He basically was like, "How dare you? I've been waiting outside for 2 minutes." Sounded like a spoiled brat. He, uh, he basically was like, "I can't believe you let them attack me," and this, that, and the other. And so he says, "You know what? You're going to be in a tag match with them tonight. You better find a co-star or whatever you want to call it for tonight, and that'll be that." And so it sent The Miz off on his journey to find a tag partner. Maurice came in, and she was still standing there. She said something to Kurt, and he was like, "Yeah, well, back at you." And I thought that was really funny and unique how Kurt, obviously, he doesn't know French, but he was still able to be like, you know what, back at you. And he does that weird, like, he bit his thumb at her, and then he gave her, like the old, like, 70s FU. I think it's the 70s thing, 70s, 80s, that, like, that FU where, like, you pull your hand underneath your chin kind of thing. It was really interesting. I enjoyed it. Uh, it was later, or it was announced earlier. I don't know if this is exactly in time with everything that happened, but we had a dumpster match: Kalisto versus Braun Strowman. I'm gonna actually, even if it's not in order, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this right now. I really enjoyed this segment. I thought this whole time frame that had Braun Strowman and Kalisto was great. Braun Strowman came out. They had his whole thing, and it was talking about how like he's just been a monster recently, and everything that he's done has been great. I think everything he's done has been great. I hope you all do too, because honestly, it is great. But then we go backstage while Braun is outside waiting. We go backstage to Kalisto. He's talking to Kurt Angle. Kurt's like, "Are you sure you still want to do this? Because I really hope that you know what you're doing. You could get seriously hurt. Blase, blase, blase." And Kalisto basically was like, "You know what? I'm a man. I'm tired of people overlooking me. I don't want anybody to treat me this kind of way. I'm gonna fight for what's mine. I'm gonna fight for my lawyer, my honor, and this, that, and the other." So I was like, "Okay, okay, I like it. I like the new ring gear that Kalisto has. I think it's really good. It really sets him up for his whole. It really sets him up for his whole solo run, because for a while back now, it seems like really connected with the whole. He's been really connected to the Lucha Dragons, his old tag team. He was really connected to them, and he didn't have a chance to really stand on his own. So now with this new ring gear, it really does, and with the new music, he also has new music. It feels like he has his own chance to be himself and be that kind of guy. So I enjoyed that. The match was really good. I thought the match was a solid 3-star match. Both of them did what they were supposed to do. Kalisto somehow got the fluke win where like Braun Strowman was outside the ring, above the dumpster, and Kalisto fell back into the ring, and he drop kicked Braun's knees, and he fell into the dumpster, and that was it. I was under the assumption that you had to close the lid. I think a lot of people were, but you just had to go into the trash can. And of course, Braun got the win. Kalisto looking like, oh shit, that was a fluke. I need to figure out what the hell I'm going to do next. Braun Strowman gets back into the ring and proceeds to stomp the living daylight out of Kalisto. He hurt him completely. He wrecked him. He threw him all over the ring. He threw him outside the ring. He beat him up. And then he proceeded to throw him into the dumpster, close it, roll it up the ramp, lock it, and then push him off the stage. It was exactly what you would expect Braun to do, honestly. And I 100% I appreciate it, because it's it's really good. I think that what they're doing is really good. Uh, uh, I just think it was a really good thing. I like what they do with the officials in the back who come out and they try to talk Braun out of talk Braun out of doing whatever, and he's just like, "Get out of my way! Don't touch me!" I think it's really nice. I think it's really cool what they do, because they make him look like a freaking monster, and I like that. So yes, props to Braun Strowman. You probably won't win this Sunday at Payback, but props to you for being the absolute monster that I love to watch destroy people. Next, we're going to go to the tag team match that we had with the 6-man tag team match. Gallows and Anderson, the club, with Samoa Joe facing off against Seth Rollins is supposed to be Enzo and Cass. But, of course, it wouldn't happen that way, because as Enzo and Cass were given their introduction and their whole thing, they got jumped by the club and Samoa Joe. Enzo just got completely decimated by the club with the Magic Killer, I believe it's called. And that was the end of Enzo. So Kurt Angle decided, you know what? Screw you guys. He he basically was like, okay, since you want to be that guy, I have somebody who can fill in for Endo's place. And who would come out but Finn Balor. He came in and he did what he was supposed to do. Still looking like he's nursing the concussion, but it looks like the officials are trusting him a little bit more to do what he needs to do, and I like that. I really appreciate that. So that's good on them. And it was a pretty standard match. Some Seth Rollins got the pin. I believe he pinned Gallows after hitting his new finisher. The new finisher, honestly, I don't really like it because it doesn't seem to fit Seth Rollins' style. Now, with that being said, he could possibly make it fit his style because it's no curb stomp and it's definitely no pedigree. But I feel like part of the reason why it doesn't seem to fit his style is because of how new it is. It's really new when it comes to something that he's doing. So hopefully within the next few weeks, it'll start to feel like it's something that people like to see. Uh, we had Matt Hardy and Cesaro, Sheamus. Matt Hardy and Sheamus going one on one in the match, and it was a standard match. It wasn't too, I guess, out of the way. They're still doing the nostalgia filter. I will 100% say that right now. They are still hitting the nostalgia factor. I think it was really good, and I thought this whole thing was great. It really got me excited for Sunday because even though it was an up and down match, Matt Hardy got the win after a distraction by Jeff and Cesaro. It was still a really good match. I think that we're gonna see a heel turn this Sunday. I don't really know by who, but I'm excited because it definitely got me looking and hoping that things will continue the way they have. Uh, Apollo Crews and Kurt Hawkins. Yeah, this was. I'm gonna try to do the shortest amount for this. Kurt Hawkins came out saying Star Factor. I'm still got that Star Factor. Who wants to be a part? Apollo Crews comes out, gets the win, which was pretty. Of course, it was obvious that he was gonna get the win. But what happened afterwards, I feel like was a lot better. Titus O'Neil came out, and he's still, if you missed last week, where he was basically like, oh, I got the Titus brand, and I'll have the Apollo brand, have the Apollo Cruise, or we get the pillows where Apollo snooze, or like if they get hurt on the Apollo Cruise, we got the law firm Apollo Soothe, and I thought it was really crazy, but I enjoy it. I'm excited to see where this goes. But it was really basic, I will say. It was very basic and kind of like, what is this? You're kind of giving us something that we don't really care about, but I'm excited to see what is to come of this. Uh, let's get little bit of ladies action. As Alexa Bliss, she came out and she basically did what she did. She just talked and she gave a cheap pop where she basically talked about how she didn't like the whole rainbow, the unicorn, the kitten, basically talking about Bailey and what she does and that's how she is. Uh, and of course, Bailey comes down and she's just like, well, I know you're talking about me, but I just think that you need to stop and you need to leave me alone. And they kind of had their thing, and it was okay, but it was just it was really lackluster. And then we also go into it was Bailey and Alexa, and then Sasha Banks decides to intervene, and it was just why does Sasha Banks feel like she has to put herself into everything? Like I just don't enjoy that. Like I like Sasha Banks, I really do, but I just right now we're trying to build up Alexa as somebody credible on Raw, and you can't do that if you have Sasha Banks intervening and kind of excuse me being the bodyguard of Bailey. But the match, of course, Sasha and Alexa had a match. It wasn't very good in my opinion. I did not like it. Especially because Alexa decided to leave out of the ring, of course, doing what she did to help keep herself, I guess, in tip-top condition for Sunday when she had the match against Bailey. But you can't have the number one contender looking like this, where she just walks out of the match because she doesn't care and just because she doesn't want to face Sasha. Then you had Bailey, who was on commentary. She just kind of chased Alexa out of the Arena, and then as soon as she turns her back, Alexa comes back and attacks her, and it was just like, wow, that's who could have not seen that coming, because that was really tragic. But you know, it happens. I guess it does. Let's see here. We're gonna move into. Hold up, got my notes here. Trying to get it. Oh, we go backstage. There we go. We go backstage to a segment where it's Heath Slater and Curtis Axel, or Heath Slater and yeah, that was Curtis Axel. They're talking. Not Curtis Axel. Heath Slater and I'm gonna get this in a second. I apologize. My all of my notes seem to have gotten uh misread here. Jesus Christ. Uh, yeah, it was Curtis Axel. Curtis Axel and Heath Slater. They're backstage. They're talking about the new upcoming movie. I don't care about whatever the movie is. I think it's the Marine Five. I don't care. Um, they have that thing, and then the Miz and Maurice pop up, and they're just like, "Hey, so we still need a tag team partner. Do either of you want to be included and want to be great by having me included? By being included with me?" And they're like, "Nah, no, we have our." Heath Slater was like, "Oh, I have my own partner. I don't really need you." And then Rhino pops up. He still had the cheese whiz uh, and crackers. It was really interesting. And Maurice slapped the crackers out of his hand, and he looked so hurt, and I genuinely was hurt for him. I thought how dare he, but or she, how dare she? But still, then the Miz gets a paper. He gets a paper that basically says who his opponent or his tag team partner's going to be, and we don't know who it is. He does not tell us, and so it was just really weird. He walks off. He's like, "Oh yeah, I have a partner. It's the best partner." It was really weird. Uh, I think I did not enjoy that, but whatever. And then afterwards, we go to a backstage segment with Dean Ambrose and uh, Chris Jericho, and he had the thing where it's like, "Oh yeah, man, I'm glad that we're able to get on this page together." Da 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 da. And so Chris Jericho is like, you know what happens when you apologize and you just give Chris Jericho a peace offering, and he does that dramatic thing that he does with the pin that I absolutely love, and he does click click. You just unmade the list, and everybody was like, "Oh my god, that's so great! Oh my god!" And then uh, it was so wonderful. Uh, I think that it was a wonderful thing that Dean Ambrose, kind of like hit him harder, hit him on the shoulder a couple of times, and then he decided to put him back on the list. So even though he unmade the list for a few minutes, he made the list again, and that's that. Uh, Main event time as oh wait no wow I'm skipping over a whole segment. We have the cruiserweight segment. It was a cruiserweight match, and I think it was really good how uh, we have a tag team match. I enjoyed the tag team match. I know a couple of my friends said that the tag team match was just really boring. Like, they shouldn't have had tag team matches because they were really boring. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much. It was really great to see Jack Gallagher. I don't know which one is actually right. I've heard it pronounced both ways, so I'm just gonna say Gallagher. I like how both Gallagher and Austin Aries both they decided to team up against Neville and his so-called protege, underling, whatever you want to call it, uh, T.J. Perkins. I enjoy how they had a tag team match. It was a really good match. I think it was really good. I can't tell you who won right off the bat because I don't know where my notes. All of my notes are misarrayed. I can't find it. Oh my goodness. Uh, I think it was a really good match. There were good spots both uh, by both uh, by both sides, Austin Aries, Jack Gallagher, and also T.J. Perkins and Neville. Uh, I think that they are really good in what they do. I think it is. And I hate that it's almost like, oh, I hate that it's almost like, oh, these guys have their own time inside of this, but that's it. Like they're not gonna get the chance to show anything outside of this, you know? It's just, oh, we have it. We have cruiserweights. It doesn't feel like they're actually a part of the show. It feels like they just have this whole little segment that's just, oh, it's just them. Yay. Like, it's really boggling, I guess. And it's upsetting for somebody who truly enjoys their segment because I enjoy watching them. I think they all have a uniqueness that can really be brought to their show. It's just really sad to see how little that they actually give. But it was definitely fun to see all of the different spots. Everybody is seemingly got their own spot, and so of course Jack Gallagher and Austin Aries got the win. It was really good. Main event time, we got the tag team of Chris Jericho and Ambrose versus Miz and his mystery partner. It was good, but at the same time it was really weird because of course the Miz came out, he had his little paper, he was like, oh my god, we have a mystery partner, who's it gonna be? And he said, without further ado, my mystery partner. And nobody came out. And then Kurt Angle came out. He was like, you know what? I don't care what you say. We're gonna have a match. We're gonna have a match, even if it's gonna be 2-on-1. So we started the match, and it was really, it was odd to see the heel get beat up because it's like, okay, why is the heel getting beat up? Why is the heel the one who's kind of getting the unfair treatment in all of this? We get that he's supposed to be the bad guy, and the bad guy is always supposed to get their comeuppance, but what is that like? Like what is that? That's just odd. But either way, uh, we get this whole match, and then it's seemingly, I don't know why, for whatever reason, I don't think the match ended with a count out, but it should have. But Dean Ambrose goes to do a table spot with the Miz on the announce table, and like the weird lights thingy that Bray Wyatt does happen. That Bray Wyatt teleports up, and he attacks Dean Ambrose, which is really weird because he's supposed to be not only having a House of Horrors match this Sunday, he's supposed to be going into a thing with Finn Balor after this. So what is this supposed to be? It's so weird and odd, but either way, he beats down Dean Ambrose. He gives them a Sister Abigail into the LED lights that make up the stage. Then Chris Jericho finally makes his way up to the ring. It's like, did you not notice that he was getting beat up? Like, what is this? But he finally makes his way up to the top, and he gets double teamed. He's not able to overcome them. They take him all the way back down to the ring, and then Bray Wyatt hits him with a Sister Abigail. Then, as Bray Wyatt's doing his thing, The Miz gets cocky. He puts a hand on Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt looking at him like, "Man, if you don't get your hand off of me, I'm about to hurt you." Which, of course, he does. He hits The Miz with his Sister Abigail. He kneels down. He does the follow the buzzards thing. And it's like, cool. But it's really sad because it's like, okay, what are we going to do here? Because if you can't even, like, if we can't even trust that you're gonna win a match at WrestleMania, which I can't be mad because he's just doing what he's told to do. But it's like, what are we doing here? Why are y'all letting this happen? Like, why are y'all just letting this happen? Because it's obvious that everybody likes it. It's obvious that everybody likes Bray and that everybody wants Bray to be the guy. But it's like they're not pulling the trigger on it, which sucks. Which really sucks. But either way, uh, uh, either way, I guess that's that. All right, going into SmackDown Live. Jesus Christ. I swear. I'll have my notes better next week, hopefully. Uh, it starts out with Shinsuke Nakamura coming out, cutting a little promo, I guess a little mini interview with uh, with Renee Young. Dolph Ziggler comes down and interrupts. He does this whole thing like, "Oh, you're just a small kid who was born and raised in Gary, Indiana. You love your kids, and you made a hit. You made a few hits." And he basically alluded to Shinsuke Nakamura being Michael Jackson, which I like that because it's like, okay, cool. Uh, because it's like, cool. We all have seen his jackets. We know that his jackets make him look like Michael Jackson, but it's cool. I think it's cool. They kind of share back and forth with things, and then of course Dolph does what he does. He kicks. He tries. He kicks uh, Shinsuke. He tries to get the upper hand, but he doesn't. Uh, and he almost hit the Shinsuke, but he doesn't. Dolph rolled out of the ring. And I think that was really good. They keep teasing us, like, oh yeah, we're gonna get to see them fight, but we don't. They keep teasing us, and I like it because, like I said last week, when the final match comes out, it'll be great. But that's cool. Next we have AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin. This match should not have happened. Honest to God, it should not have happened. I get last week it didn't end in the best of fashions, but it should not have happened. Simple as that. It's simple as that. It shouldn't have. It was really tragic. I just I don't know. I liked the match. It was a good match. It was a solid match. You had the United States champion over there too, and like I think I said last week, I liked the overall like the overlapping storylines where it's like Jericho and Owens and AJ Styles and Baron Corbin, but it all works. It all works together. It looks really nice. But I think it was something. It was crazy. The match itself was good. Uh, Baron Corbin looking like the absolute monster, like he always does. Uh, it was a good match. AJ Styles, of course, coming back, getting the win. And afterwards, of course, he didn't approve of he kicked Owens, who tried to distract him in the match. And of course, Owens didn't like that. He never liked being made the fool, so he goes into the ring. He attacks. Uh, he attacks AJ Styles. Baron Corbin gets up and he tries to attack him, and they just both go at him. Then Sami comes out, and it was just it was it was a very good match, but the aftermath of it was very cluttered. I don't think Sami Zayn has nothing to do with this. Like he's just being that superhero guy who shouldn't be. Like he has no direction, so he's just gonna poke his head in everything until he gets some direction. And I don't appreciate that at all. But what are we gonna do? Uh, Next, we have the whole tag team beat the clock thing, which I enjoyed that because it's been a while since we've had a beat the clock challenge. I think it was really good. We should bring back the beat the clock challenge. We should have more of those. But who am I to say that? I'm just a fan. Uh, American Alpha versus the Cologne. It was a rematch of last week. I think we should have had a rematch for last week because last week's match, while it was good, it could have had more going for it. I don't like how the whole match, basically the Colognes, who Primo and Epico, were basically dominating the match, and then the end was caused by like one or two moves, and then Jason Jordan and Chad Gable win. I don't like that at all. I don't think that it was a good showing, and it's not a way to really grow it's not a good way to really grow tag teams. It doesn't make them look good at all. It makes them really look like the lucky guys who just happen to be able to get their spot or get their move, and that's the it. Like it was not fun at all. I didn't appreciate it. I didn't approve of it. But again, who am I to say? Uh, American Alpha beat them with like 5 minutes and 17 seconds on the clock, which means that either Breezango or the Ascension have to beat the other in 5 minutes 17 seconds. But since we're on this, we're gonna go right to that match. I think uh, that the next match was really good. It was short, of course, having Breezango pick up the win in 2 minutes of some time. It was a good match. I think it was really good. I'm really hesitant, excuse me, because you get Breezango, who's kind of been working for like the past 6 months. They've been doing what they've been doing, but they haven't really gotten a chance to really show what they can do. So to push them ahead like this, as they did with Jinder Mahal, we'll get to him, really makes me concerned because it's like, okay, you're going to push them into a number one contender spot. Let's see what you guys can do with it. And I'm afraid that they're gonna give us this, and they're not gonna be able to pull the trigger and actually make it seem like it's something worth our while. You get what I'm saying, I guess. Uh, we're gonna move on to the no disqualification match with Randy Orton versus Eric Rowan. This was another match, kind of like the tag team match with the Cologne and American Alpha, where it was like, okay, one guy gets most of the offense in the entire match, and then one or two spots or one or two moves later, and the other guy wins. Like, I get he's the champion. I get that you want to make him look strong going into Sunday. But you cannot have him win a match with just one or two moves with somebody like Eric Rowan, who has proved time and time again that he is good in the ring, he's good on the mic, he's good with whatever you give him, whoever you put him against, he will make a good, at least a 4-star match. And I feel like they need to give him more leeway. And if they don't, it's going to end up hurting them. But, what I want to say, the match was, of course, it was up, down as far as how things happened. The Viper, Randy Orton gets the RKO and he finished him. And afterwards, he had this promo. He's cutting a promo where basically he said the obvious thing. I don't know what's going to happen this Sunday. I don't know what this House of Horrors match is, but I have a feeling this Sunday I'm going to figure it out. Like, what? Yes, of course you are. Like, that was so stupid of you to say. But it happened. And then Jinder Mahal comes out. He basically did the exact same thing Randy did last week. And he basically interrupted him and made him just kind of stand there and look foolish. The only difference is Jinder actually, he attacked Randy. Randy was able to get the upper hand until the Bollywood boys came out and caused Randy to get beat down by Jinder and the Bollywood boys, and Jinder ends up hitting him with that move that he does. I don't know what it's called. I really don't know what it's called. The little power bomb thing that he does, the slam thing that he does. I think it was really good. The Cobra Clutch Slam. I just looked it up. That's what they're calling it. The Cobra Clutch Slam. I like the move. I just feel like it's not versatile enough to be believable. Like, I feel like if it were something that would be believable enough for if it were something believable enough to where like, oh, he can hit it on Big Show and still be able to hit it on, or like he can hit it on Kalisto and still hit it on Big Show. Like, it doesn't seem believable enough. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. It's good for what it is. I like the move. I like the segment because after Jinder got the upper hand, what did he do? He took the title and he walked up out of SmackDown with it. He takes the title and he literally leaves SmackDown with it. So I like that, and it causes a lot of, ooh, what's going to happen? Because it's also going to be like, what's going to happen this Sunday? Is he going to have his title to go up into the match? It was really good. I enjoyed it. I think that is going to be a lot of good things coming from them. So we'll get to see. And we get to main event time. SmackDown Women's Championship, Naomi versus Charlotte. We get a really good match. It started off with Naomi having a interview where it was basically like, oh, Charlotte said that she's the best, but what do you feel about this? And Naomi was like, nope, she's not the best, I'm the best. I have the title, so I'm the best. Screw what she said. So it was a really good match. It was really good. I had very low hopes because I thought that it was going to be Charlotte picking up the win, but instead we got Tamina, Natalia, and Carmella attacking both of them, really Charlotte, because they're pissed off about the fact that, Charlotte came in one week and the next week she had the title shot, and it's like, I get where they're coming from, because it's like the three of them, they should get chances. They should have this equal opportunity, but they don't. And, everybody was kind of looking for Becky to come out and help Charlotte and Naomi, but they didn't. And so the match, or the show, ends with Tamina, Carmella, and Natalia standing tall over a down Charlotte and a injured looking Naomi. And I think that this would be a really good thing for them going forward, because now not only do we have, who's Naomi's champion, who's going to be the person to dethrone her, where is this going to go? But we also have this stable who's like, all right, we're we're this new stable who just pissed off that we deserve shots. Let us have these shots, and it's really good. I think it's really a good thing for them to have. Honestly, I liked it. All right, so it's time for me to basically give my grade for both of these and tell you guys which one I thought was better. Okay, before I give each of them a grade, I'm just gonna say that Raw won out this week for me because Raw overall had a better showing. They did, even though they had the extra hour and they had that weird thing where it was kind of like they were plugging for 205 Live. It didn't really feel like they actually were trying to have a part of their show. It was still a good showing. I think it was really good over SmackDown. SmackDown did have a lot of good things. All of their matches were good, even though they shouldn't have had the rematch AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin, but it also was really good. Kevin Owens should have been in the match, but he wasn't. I thought that was really sad, but it happened. But as far as grades go, I want to give SmackDown an 88 and Raw a 94. I feel like, if anything, the one thing that is hurting them is the fact that they are being really repetitive with what they're doing, but not giving reason for being repetitive. That is the biggest thing that is hurting SmackDown, and honestly hurting Raw a little bit too. We'll see what happens, but at the same time, we gotta hopefully hope. I guess we gotta hope that things will get better between this. But with that being said, I guess I'll just wrap things up for this episode. Hopefully, things will get better with my podcast. Hopefully, I'll be able to add people to my podcast. I'll be able to introduce other people, and you can get their opinions, get their rundown on how they feel things went. But with that being said, if you would please give me a thumbs up, show your support. Tell me what you thought of SmackDown and Raw in the comment section below. Also, please share this video. Share it with everybody that you know, because sharing is truly caring. Subscribe to me if you haven't already, because if you haven't already subscribed to me, you're just not doing life correctly. So, with that being said, I will holler at you guys later. Holler at your boy. Peace!